Okay, hello everybody. My name is Art Manville, and joining me on the call today, the better half of the twosome here. Terry, are you there?
Yes, I am, Art. Thanks.
Okay, we're going to have a lot of fun today, and a lot of this webinar today is inspired by a business opportunity meeting we did in Portland this week, and basically in preparing for that, I think I received a few little insights. You know how it goes. Things come to you and you get inspired. But for those of you that haven't met us yet, that is Terry and I. And gosh, it's been quite a ride. We're so grateful to be involved in Zango. Our life was changed. It's hard to believe that not that many years ago, like June of 2003, we were maxed out on credit cards. We had so many credit cards debts that we were afraid to total them up. I didn't even want to know. But I can tell you there was many over 5 figures, and they were so big you didn't even know how to pay them off. And we were without hardly any income because the company we were with was not a professionally managed company, and they'd ran into some problems. And it wasn't that many years ago that we were wondering, what are we going to do next? And I believe often in life that when one door closes, another door can open. And in our case, the door that opened was way bigger than the door that closed. And I know a lot of you are being challenged out there right now, too, with what's going on in the economy. We're going to talk a little bit about that and how you can take advantage of this. But, Terry, I mean, hasn't it been something what's happened since we got involved in Zango?
It's been amazing. You know, we've really been able to help our family and our friends and different things. My mom and dad, you know, my dad didn't have a tombstone, and so I was able to purchase that for them. And so, you know, the money, I believe, has been spent and put into some really great uses. We're also free of debt here, so there's nothing greater than that. So thanks to Zango and thanks to all of our team. I mean, it takes a team to do this. Art and I certainly did not do this on our own, but did we work hard? Yes, we did, and we still do. So, yeah, it's been a great, great honor to be a part of this company.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Terry. So what we're talking about today is creating your own economic recovery plan. And I believe that our world has fundamentally changed forever. I don't think the economy is ever going to go back the way that it was. It was broken, you know, and I just had this great feeling this week as I was getting ready for that there's this huge wave of people looking for alternative income streams right now, but it hasn't hit yet. I mean, it's something that the groundwork has been laid. People realize that they can't rely on their jobs. In fact, our neighbor here, 2 doors down, is a master electrician. He's the guy that works for a commercial electrical company. And in fact, he's the one that runs the job and has all of these employees underneath him. He doesn't even actually get out there and bend wires anymore. And he's been working so hard. He's a workaholic. And last year even, there was times he would work 80 hours a week and get paid incredible overtime. Sometimes he wouldn't even come home at night during the week because it's a 45-minute commute. So here's a guy that has been so busy all the times. We've both been here around the same time, about 12 years in the same neighborhood, so we kind of know what's been going on. And 3 weeks ago, you know, basically his job as he's known it is gone. I mean, he's on a 30-hour per week sort of maintenance project right now with no benefits and things. And so everybody out there that is listening to this should be concerned about their job security. I don't think there's any job that is safe. And so what does that mean for us? Can we rely on the bankers to turn this around? No, they're the ones that maybe got us into the problem, them and the investors. Can we rely on the government to kickstart this economy? I'm telling you, they're doing whatever they can think of doing, but no one knows if it's going to work. To me, this is a wonderful opportunity to learn to take responsibility for our own financial future. And what I see coming is a lot of people are going to eventually here wake up. And I don't think they've all woken up yet. I think there's a period of almost like shock that people are in right now. And part of it is all of the stuff that is coming out on the news. I mean, you know, it is, if you pay attention to this, and I really don't read a lot of news, you know, but this is a great cartoon I got from corporate, you know, the economy. Are we there yet? You know, are we at the bottom? I mean, obviously there's a lot of challenges going on, but we are in the right industry. Here's another one. I love this one because this is a good strategy for Zango distributors. It says, pour yourself a drink. The news isn't good, but we can pour ourselves a drink of juice. And so there's a lot of problems, obviously, out there in the economy, yet here is this slide. Many of you have seen this before, but in October 2008, one of the darkest months in Wall Street history was the biggest month ever for what company? Did you get it? Yes, Zango. So it's a pretty amazing industry that we're in. And here's another one that I like. Fortune magazine, the best kept secret in the business world. Direct sales has experienced a 94% growth in the last 10 years. And experts are saying it's a recession-proof industry. You're going to see this growth curve go through the roof, in my view, in the next 5 years. And down here, forget the paycheck. Your W-2 days are over. It's a 1099 world. That means that you're working from home. And so there's going to be an incredible home business explosion. And let's face it, who wouldn't want to work at home? 61% Americans now say they prefer to be their own bosses. 72% said they'd rather work for themselves. More than 1 in 8 U.S. households include a home-based business. And, of course, a U.S. senator saying we need more options. And so we also have this wellness revolution that's going on, and that hasn't gone away. Wellness is not a fad or a trend. It's about a new and infinite need for infusing itself into the way that we eat, work, and sleep, and so on. So we have two of these trends colliding. And what we've got to do, in my view, is combine them all into a viable business model. Now, I put this up here because this is a must-read. If you guys are going to raise your game and take advantage of the trends that are out there and this home business explosion that I am predicting, then you're going to have to become a student of the industry. You're going to have to raise your game and this is an essential must-read book. The best book that I've read for really opening my mind and giving me the belief in the industry. You'd think after 20-plus years of being in the industry that I would have an absolute rock-solid belief. No, this book helped me a lot. Robert Kiyosaki. And what does he say? The richest people in the world build networks. Everyone else, as it should be said, is trained to look for work. And many of you have seen that quotation before. And so it's about another way of creating wealth. And so to me, what we're bringing to the table here is a wonderful combination at a time when people so desperately need this story. They still need their health, okay? But they also need wealth. They need another source of an income stream. And, of course, everybody could use some hope right now. So this is really, to me, what you are selling, if you will. You're selling this package, and which means that if you want to get people and help them with their health, you've also got to show them how to help them with their wealth right now. Because if you bring a product to somebody who is concerned about their job, it may be difficult for you to keep that person as a consumer. But if you can show them how to convert this into a home business and get some tax write-offs, now you've really got something here. So to me, that's what we're bringing to the table. So why work from home? And you've got to realize that these people out here, let's face it, a lot of people have lost their jobs, right? What are they doing when they've got no work? They're at home, and they're on their computer, and they're looking for something to do. I'm telling you, there's more people looking for home business extra incomes now than ever before. It's a whole new world. But we've got to raise our game in order to take advantage of this trend. So you get to live where you want, be with your family, call your own shots. These are all the advantages of having a home business. Many of you are aware of them. But you've got to learn to be able to talk to the people that you know about these advantages, right? You've got to be able to tell them about it. And, of course, this is my favorite picture, as many of you know. Gosh, that's about what I look like right now. What a surprise. This is what I look like when I'm working, and I couldn't show that without a brand-new picture that I think you're really going to enjoy. This is what everybody else is doing. Tell me, which looks better, that picture of me in my slippers or this picture here? Come on, little freeway. There you go. Check that out, man. People There are actually people that are doing that every single day. Do you think that we are in the right place at the right time with the right product? A home-based business is really our true product here, and incredible products to take to the market that can help a lot of people. So you got to get your game on, in my view, okay? You got to raise your game. What is that? What am I talking about, get your game on? You know, you've got to get better at what it is that you do, because these people that are out there are going to be looking for a home business, and you better be able to present it to them in a way where they can see that they're going to be doing it. They're going to be looking for certain things in a home business, and so you've got to make sure that you are in the game and you have your act together. You know, I mean, just think about it. What are they looking for? A proven track record, right? I mean, they're going to want something they can rely on. They're not going to be interested in a startup that isn't proven itself. So the startup companies are not going to be hot in the next future. What we're seeing right now is people, and of course corporate has even said at Zango headquarters, they have had more network marketers flying in that are with other companies checking out Zango looking for a home in the last 2 months than they've had in the last 3 years. So lots of people looking for something that is proven with a track record. And they're going to be looking for consumable products, too. They're going to know that they need a product that people use over and over again if they're going to create this residual income. And they're going to be looking for systems, okay? Do you have a system in place? I think we all need to sort of create our own systems in a will, but there's a lot, if you will, but there's a lot of systems already in place, but you've got to use them. This is what they're looking for. They want to see that you know what you're doing. And so we've got the founders, incredible dream team founders. That's part of our proven track record. And we've got this incredible statistic here, $1.5 billion in 6 years. So yes, we have the proven thing that they're looking for, and we have this array of products that are very, very powerful to take out to the marketplace, highly consumable, right? And we've got some systems like the My Mangosteen website that just went through a major upgrade on the front. You get to pick exactly what order and what you want to show on your front page and customize it. And also this dynamic back office that we have here. This is part of a system, you see? And you want to use the system to show people what it is that you have. Don't skip out on the system. And when you have new members and you want to sign them up, use your website. Use a system for signing people up and recruiting and retaining them. This is what these home business seekers are looking for right now. And of course, we have a new system for retention put together by John Godsick, an incredible industry expert. And I'm telling you what, Exco Pro is just beginning, guys. I mean, I know of some things that are coming on this that are going to be absolutely incredible to raise the game on what it's doing. But you can see John's influence already in the company in terms of these Zango distributor meetings. I mean, check out Zango.com. And you've got to get good at this, right? Part of what really turns people on is meeting people and getting face-to-face. I didn't even warn you, Sam, but I'm going to try to bring up here the Zango front page. There, we're live on the Zango front page. And I'm just looking here. There's a problem here. This is the first. I don't usually try this, but not working. Okay. Well, see, I went out of my comfort zone and tried something different, and it's not working. So we'll go back. Oh. Okay, there it is. There it is. So that's the distributor meetings, right? And go to Zango.com meetings and events, and if you would look, you will see at least 100 local meetings that are happening all around the country in various states. And these are all distributor meetings, not corporate. See, there's a trend now to distributor events and putting on business opportunity meetings and Super Saturdays. And all this has come as a result of the Exco Pro system. And so I want you to be able to attend some of these events and look to plug your people into them.
This is Terry. I just want to say that it's a really good idea to get into the habit every Monday morning to go onto your computer and look and see where those events are. Because what you want to do is you want to plug those people into the meetings that are happening that week or the first 2 weeks and send them a quick email. You know, go into, if you've got the My Mangosteen, hopefully back office, go in there and do a copy paste and send them that. There's nothing more powerful for people to know that, yes, there's a meeting coming up in BC, Canada, and this is the date, and that goes out to all of your Canadian people. Very powerful to do that, okay?
Yeah, and so they're going to be looking for a system, and part of our system here is our online website, right? We just showed you that, offline tools. This is part of your system, which means you've got to use your system with all prospects. I'm calling these meet me calls. You know, these are called three-way calling, but what we're finding now is we're doing more and more three-way calls that your prospects, the people that you're talking to, your candidates that you're wanting to introduce the business to, the three-way call, if you say, would you like to get on a three-way call, most of them will say, no, I don't really think so. So we're calling them meet me calls. I want you to meet somebody. Now, so every candidate, gosh, if you guys would just do this one thing, okay? If you would just make this part of the way that you do your business every single time you are having a conversation with somebody about the business and they're a candidate for the business, please introduce them to someone else besides you. Do a meet me call, and it can be with anybody, but you've got to bring the third-party expert on with them. You can't do this by yourself. You don't have that much credibility with the people you know in many cases. And so you should introduce them to your sponsor if possible, your upline successful person if possible. Gosh, I was even telling somebody this last week that doesn't really have an upline they can work with. I says, you could introduce your new candidate to one of your downline. It doesn't matter who that person is as long as they can talk and they have some credibility naturally to use your successful upline people. This is something you've got to raise your game on, because when you are talking to your candidate, they have two questions in their mind that you have got to answer. Does this work, and can I do it? Does this work, and can I do it? Does this work is an easy question to answer with Zango's track record, don't you think? With this product, with $1.5 billion, this is an easy question to answer. So the biggest question in every candidate's mind, the number one question that you've got to satisfy is, can I do it? And that's a question that can only be answered through duplicatable activities and using a system. So if you just try to tell that person, that candidate, everything you know and do it all by yourself, they are going to look at that and say, I can never talk that much. And so every action that you take with this candidate then becomes a duplicatable training. So it behooves you then to teach them the power of the three-way call, or what we're calling the meet me call, by bringing them into a meet me call situation right early in the process. Because how are they going to do it with you if you don't do it with them? And it's important that you bring them to your website, and it's important that you get an information packet on. See, this is the kind of things that they're looking for in a system. Website, they're looking for training. XGO Pro is a system of retention and training and mentoring. They're going to be looking for a teamwork, and that's another reason for the upline three-way call. And I'm telling you, it's so easy. It's a lot easier than you think. And events, these are all part of your system.
I just want to say, with the XGO Pro, what that does is it puts everybody on the same link. We're all on the same I-5. And what it does is every week when you get that CD, like Art just got the McCarthy's new CD, and he was just thrilled with it. And then I got to, when I was doing follow-up calls, I got to phone people and say, hey, did you get your McCarthy CD? Have you listened to it yet? You see, we're all on the same page. And so what that does with your teamwork is it keeps you all flowing together, and it's also keeping all of the other leaders flowing together. So I see this as a win-win for everyone. It's very, very powerful.
Yeah, and they're also looking for support, aren't they? They're going to be looking for support, coaching from successful people, professional, committed sponsor. And that's the kind of thing that they're going to be looking for here. Hold on a second. I've got a little technical issue here. Hold on a second, guys. There we go. See, I've lost this thing here. Okay, so I'm going to ask you some questions here right now, and we're going to try something a little bit differently. A professional committed sponsor. So what qualities? Let's see if this works. We're going to try something a little bit different. You get a chance to vote on this, and so we're stretching the envelope today, guys. Bear with us on this. What qualities would you most like to see in a sponsor? What qualities would you most like to see in a sponsor? And you can vote on that. And so we're going to take a vote here over the next few seconds here. I think if you click on it, that votes. Actually, we're getting some voting coming in, so it seems to be working. 20% of the people are voted. So that's the question that we have. What qualities would you most like in a sponsor? Committed, consistently bringing in new members. That should be consistently holding events and conference calls, using a system, joining a new program every week. Now, that's a trick question. Okay, that's a trick question. I
threw that in.
I pulled that in, and I'm going to give you the statistics here in a second. Actually, okay, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to complete the voting, and then I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what the voting is on that, just to give you an idea. What is the most important thing in a sponsor?
Oh, cool.
And here's what we're getting. We got 76% of the people have voted, and 79% want a committed sponsor. Okay, 60% bringing in new people, 61% holding events, 81% using a system. Now, how do you like that? So committed and using a system. Only 6% want them to join a new program, and those guys have a sense of humor, I'm sure. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And we got some more coming up a little bit later to make this kind of fun. So they're looking for support. Another thing that is really big right now, and what they're going to be looking for, are tax advantages. They're looking for tax advantages. Everybody's looking for tax advantages. And we're going to show you in a second here how you can show somebody who is stuck in the E quadrant, which means they've got a job, how they can start their home business without any capital outlay. Isn't that cool? And so you've got to get your game on when it comes to these tax advantages. You've got to know what the tax advantages are. You've got to talk to your candidates about this, because this is a big thing right now. And what it looks like, how to start a home biz with no capital, okay? And to qualify for home business tax breaks, you have to be operating a legitimate business, okay? So let's think about this, guys. You've got your consumer out there that's buying a case or 2 cases of juice per month, right? And they're starting to complain to you about the cost of it as you're doing your follow-up. And so you're concerned that they're not going to be able to continue to buy it. However, you tell them, listen, if you would just turn this into a part-time business, and you can give me like 4 to 5 hours per week, I can show you how to potentially write off the cost of your product and write off a whole bunch of other things. Your cell phone bill, maybe part of your house, all kinds of things, guys. I mean, this is a big sales pitch that we've got right now. And those are some of the things to qualify. They've got to be an intent to produce a profit. You've got to work your business like a real business, show regular and consistent activity. You know, you got to work it every week, be able to demonstrate your expertise, and so document your business income, expenses, and activity. And I'm going to show you this. This is from Carolyn Johnson. And this is how, and I'm going to show you the end first, but this is how someone actually was able to, just a second here. I'm going to show you how someone was absolutely able here to reduce their taxable income. So this is an employee that basically was taking home, if you see on the right side here, a net pay of $1,745. I don't know, that's probably every 2 weeks or something like that, right? So they're taking home, the taxes being deducted are $939 over here. And so their take-home pay is $1,745. Because they started a home business, and I'm going to show you how this works, they were able to go to their employee and reduce how much tax is coming out, because these taxes, the home business expenses will become a deduction at the end of the tax year, and they were able to increase their take-home pay from $1,745 to $2,298. They've got an extra $500 a month coming in here of cash flow that now they can go in and get their 2 cases of juice, and they can buy some tools, and they can operate a business, right, out of that cash flow. So, but here's the smart thing, is they took this money here and they put it in a separate bank account that is just for their business expenses and ran it all separately through there. So basically, they weren't taking any money out of pocket here to start their own business. And so here briefly is how it works. You have to make sure your home business is qualified, learn the tax rates available and how to qualify them, keep your records, determine the amount of taxes that will be reduced due to your new deductions. Then you visit your payroll office at work to revise your W-4, it's called, and Krista's just checked this out, and Canada has a similar thing, can be done in Canada, and change the amount of taxes that are being withheld from your paycheck, which increases your take-home pay, usually with the very next paycheck. So in payday, notice how much extra cash has been added to your paycheck. That's money that used to go to taxes, but now it's in your pocket. The extra cash should be more than enough to pay for you're actively running a successful business, according to Ron Mueller, PhD. So that's what you want to look at, and that's a great thing that you need to learn about. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do. In the next slide here, I had to click through to see what is next. But you've got to learn the power of this home business. So anybody that you know that has a job out there, and you're approaching them about a business of some kind, or what about one of your consumers even that says, I can't afford the juice, you can show them an alternative here where they can start to have an additional capital. I mean, imagine approaching 3 or 4 people at work and saying, you know what, guys, I just found a way where you can start a business without any capital outlay. Would you like to have a look at it? Okay, now we're going to shift gears a little bit here, because one of the other factors that is going on here, guys, in the marketplace is that it's harder for your consumers to continue to buy the juice, so follow-up becomes so important, so important. And, we've got the queen of follow-up with us. I've got some few comments, and I want to change your mindset a little bit later, but I want Terry to run through some basic follow-up, because I'm telling you, if you're not following up on your consumers every month, every week, following up and checking in with them and encouraging them, the next thing you know, you don't have those consumers any longer. So Terry, take it away.
Okay, this is my passion, is follow-up, and so I have been going into our team, and I've been tweaking in there and seeing, I can tell who's doing follow-up and who isn't, okay? I truly can. I can see where things are falling away because they're not doing follow-up. It is just so important. These days with hardship on hand, if you go into restaurants or you go into stores, those people are more than willing to go out of their way to help you extra. So, of course, it's all about service. So for us, with the juice, I want to do the juice separate from Glimpse because I want to show you some examples. The people with the juice, for instance, if you're not going in and doing follow-up, they start to slack off even on their juice. Okay, let's say that person was taking 5 or 6 ounces. This is a person that's been on the juice for a couple of years. They've got some big issues in their body, and you're still not keeping in touch with them. They start going down to 2 ounces. All of their symptoms start to come back, and they're wondering why. You get the phone call and say, I don't understand it. This and this and this. All these things that I had 2 years ago are back again. It's because they've been pulling back on their juice. You can't allow to do that. Your body is so important. It's like, what is your health worth to you? But for new people, when you're sponsoring a new person and you're not doing follow-up, I love doing follow-up about the 3rd day into it. They have to have the juice. And that's what I basically say on the machine. Let's face it, you guys, a lot of these people aren't home because I do my phoning in the morning. And so they're at work. So I basically would phone, and I would leave this message on the machine. Hi, Betty. This is Terry with Zango. I just wanted to do a quick service call, a follow-up call. I wanted to make sure you received your Zango product. See, at this point, I'm not sure, did they get juice or glimpse? If you did get the juice, make sure you shake the bottles every time you take your ounces. When you take those ounces, take it with food for best results. Also, if you can split it up, take it morning, lunch, and dinner. Healthy people take 2 to 3 ounces a day. That would be 1 with each meal. A person that has health challenges will need more ounces, more juice, to get the best results. They're going to need 2 with each meal. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. I see Sally is the person that brought you in. Please phone Sally for more information, or you can always call me, and I leave my number. Okay, that's a machine. If I get a live person on the phone, I ask them, yes, did they get their juice? How many ounces are they taking? Did they shake the bottle each time? I asked a lot of questions. The reason is I'm not going to say, so if you're a healthy person, you're taking 3 ounces a day? And they go, yes. When they're really just taking 1 ounce a day. You would not believe how many people I've phoned, and they're a healthy person, but they're still just taking 1 ounce. I'll tell you what, guys, 1 ounce isn't going to do anything. Or I'll phone and do follow-up, and this person has some big issues, and they're on 2 ounces. Now, how is that person that is on 2 ounces, how are they going to get good results? Why would they stay on the juice when they're not getting the results that they so richly deserve? So this follow-up, I'll tell you, is so important. You cannot begin to imagine. This is life-changing, and it's all about service. And these days, with what's happening in the economy, service is everything. So then I'm going to go. You want me to do glimpse now? Okay, I'm going to do glimpse now. The reason glimpse is so important with follow-up is I've gone in and I've done some follow-up, and this is what I've found. I phoned one gal in BC, and she happened to get her glimpse in November, okay? And what month is it now? Okay, she still has half of her glimpse yet. And when I asked her how she was doing it, she says, I love the product, but I'm not seeing the results that I was hoping. So that's where I go in and ask her a bunch of questions, like, when did you get it? How much do you think you have left? And my comment was, you're not taking enough. She isn't. So I would question her, how many pumps is she doing? She's doing 1 pump once a day. Now, how can she get results if she's not taking enough of the product? I do 3 pumps. I do have very dry skin, granted, but you need to take enough of the glimpse. So think how much glimpse she's been using on her face, and she's only doing it once a day. So how can she get the results? Now, without somebody following up on her, how would she know? Guess what? She said, well, I guess I'll reorder next time, but she says, I was just going to quit. So you can see how important that follow-up. I really like to do it again on the 3rd day. You should at least follow up twice with your glimpse to make sure they're taking it properly. Another thing that happens with glimpse is people with dry skin think that they're not getting enough moisture. You see, these people are used to using Vaseline or really liquidy stuff on their face. You got to understand what the glimpse is doing is it's going to the cellular level, but it's tightening the skin. So they think that it's dry, but it's really tightening the skin. And I found this out with doing different follow-ups on people and asking them what their skin type is. Another thing, make sure they're taking the proper product for their face. Very important. And thirdly, and this is a huge thing, I do get calls on this. I have been doing a lot of 3-way calls with people, is they are not rinsing their face with a face cloth and cleaning off their cleanser, whether it be the gel or the creamy, and they're leaving some of it on. Remember, this is a live enzyme, okay, that is going to the cellular level. If you do not clean that off, the people tend to get little tiny pimples, like down by the chin or over on the hairline. It's because they're not cleaning it off properly. You guys, this isn't a live product. It's a clean green product. There's not anything out there in the marketplace like this. So we really have to make sure and be on top of our game to make sure that people are using it properly. So follow-up to me is what's going to make and break your business.
Oh, great job on that, Terry. Yes, you are the queen of follow-up, no question about it. Good job.
Art.
You know what, guys and gals? I want to talk to you about something different that I have been having in private conversations. I think AutoShip is an illusion. And I don't think you should buy into the illusion. Back in the old days, when I first started in network marketing, we didn't have anything called AutoShip, which means that if you didn't call your customers, they didn't get an order. You didn't get an order. There was no AutoShip. And I think we have fallen into the illusion that we get somebody in AutoShip and think that they're going to order forever. I'm telling you what, you'd be better off pretending that none of your personals were on AutoShip. Pretend that they're not on AutoShip, that if you don't call them, that if you don't connect with them, that if you don't inspire them and motivate them, that they're not going to order that month. And now is the time to do that. Don't wait till the end of the month after they've stopped their AutoShip. This is the beginning of the month. Now's when you should be calling your distributors and your customers and your consumers about their product. And you should go into the game with a plan, of a new story on the product, depending on what that person, I just heard about this person just got rid of their back pain in 10 days. I just wanted to follow up and see how your juice is doing. How much are you taking? Wow, yeah, and I just got my mother on it, and she had this problem, and tell stories. You should be phoning people at the beginning of the month, working your team at the beginning of the month to get the orders for that month, and don't rely on the AutoShip. I'm telling you, it's too late when you find that they've dropped off AutoShip and they're not going to order this month, and you haven't talked to them for a month. You've lost them. And so this is a business that you're running here. You've got to raise your game on follow-up. You've got to treat this like $1 million business. I want to give you a technique, and I was talking to Yvonne Sard about this, a very, very powerful technique that's going to help you in your networking and in your recruiting. I've been recommending this book for quite some time called The Answer, a fabulous book, actually written by John Assaraf and Murray Smith, but the ghostwriter behind it was John David Mann, a friend of mine. It is a brilliant book about consciousness and energy and how that applies to business. And one of the techniques in there, and I'm going to teach this to you right now, is how to properly network. And here is the question. I want you to write this down. Okay? If you don't have the right answer to this question, you're not in the game. So to get in the game, you have to know how to answer this question. I want you to write this question down. What do you do? Now, what do you do? I sell Zango. No, that's not the kind of answer that is going to make somebody curious. So you don't sell Zango. And he talks about how a lawyer, let's say that you're a lawyer. You should never say I'm a lawyer or I'm a teacher or I'm an accountant. Those things don't mean anything to people, so you've got to know how to answer that. And it's kind of like the elevator story, but they have it into a format that I think is very powerful, and I'm going to demonstrate it to you. I want you to write this down. So the first part of this is you know how, and then you put down the problem. This is where you insert the problem that you're going to be addressing. Well, what we do is the next section of that, and then you put in your solution, and then finish with some kind of an offer. Now, you might have several answers to this question, what do you do? And so the idea is, as you're out there talking to people, you're networking, you're going to clubs, you're in a chamber of commerce. I mean, this can happen all the time. You're having conversation with somebody at a bar or a lounge, and they ask you, so what do you do? Well, that answer has to be very, very carefully put together so that that person wants to know more. And I've been working with this, so I'm going to give you, and you may want to write this down, I'm going to give you one of the approaches that I have on this. So it goes something like this. So somebody says, go ahead, Terry, ask me, what do you do?
So what do you do, Art?
Well, everybody seems to be worried about their finances right now. Well, what we do is we coach people on how to create an extra $500 or $1,000 a month income stream from their home. And I'll tell you what, I mean, if you want to know more about it, if you got 20 minutes next Thursday night, we're going to be talking to some people about what this is all about. See? So what do you do? let's do that again. So everyone seems to be concerned about finances right now. Well, what we do is we coach people on how to create an extra income stream from home. And in fact, next Wednesday, I'm going to be talking to some people. If you want to take 20 minutes, I'll explain to you what it's all about. So how indicates the problem. Now Yvonne and I were going through this situation. How about the product, right? And so you see somebody that is a candidate for the product that maybe has back pain, and he says, I notice you have back pain. He says, yeah, it's really, well, it seems like everybody has got back pain right now. What we do is we show people how to get rid of their back pain without drugs. And in fact, I've got some information I could send you on it. So that's a technique on, this is like networking 101. You know how, well, what we do is. And so I want you to play with that and practice that and figure out exactly what those words should be that creates that curiosity in people so they want to know more. This is designed to have them want to know more. Anything you want to add there, Terry?
Well, I just want to say it's interesting. This is the first time Art has actually demonstrated this because I wasn't at the last meeting. We had company, and so he did it on his own. And the thing that comes to me is when you do meet people, when they say I'm a lawyer or they say I'm a doctor, we tend to put people in a box. We tend to put them in, oh, okay, that's what you do. I'm a dentist. Oh, that's what you do. Whereas if you were to look at what Art actually says, it's like it kind of makes you curious, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Kind of makes you wonder and want more information, and that's really what you're trying to get to. You're not wanting to say you sell Zango juice. You're wanting to bring their curiosity and have wonderment. And so that was fabulous. Thanks, Art.
Yeah, so it's a curiosity-driven statement that makes them want to know more. And then you finish with an offer to more. Now, I'm going to give you here, and we're going to ask some more questions. Get ready for some more questions here, guys. But I'm going to give you my what I talked about the other night in Portland. And some of you have heard me talk about the Subway shop. And I'm telling you, of all of the things that I could teach you right now about a home business, what is the number one thing, in my view, that has created our success over the last 25 years? I believe this is the number one thing that we've always brought to the table. We've always treated our business like a business. We haven't treated it like a hobby. We have treated it like $1 million business. And I think the problem that we run into in this industry is it's so easy to get involved, right? $35 and some juice. And so people come into the business without a real commitment. And I've said this before, if you could just treat this with the same dignity and respect that you would treat any natural, normal business, then you could create the success out of this. And so I use the example of the Subway shop, I mean, you know how much it costs to open up a Subway shop? And this is the low end of the franchise opportunity. It's about $100,000 to get that Subway shop off the ground. And in fact, the Subway shop opened in our town here around the time that we got involved in Zango. And so $100,000. So you decided to open up this Subway shop, and you got a second mortgage on your house for $50,000. And you need another $50,000. And so you went to your brother and borrowed $10,000 from your brother. You borrowed $10,000 from your mother. You borrowed $10,000 from your best friend, and you borrowed another $10,000 from your aunt, and you even had to go to your mother-in-law and buy $10,000 to get your other $50,000. Now, do you think you've got some skin in the game here with that Subway shop, right? You've made a commitment. Do you think that you would have the doors open on Saturday morning, no matter what was going on, to make sure that that business was open, and if an employee wouldn't show up, or what, you would be there, right, to make sure this store was open? Would you expect to be in great profit in your first 90 days? No. You would have a business plan. You would have a business mindset. Too often I see in network marketing business, people don't show up for work. They don't show up for work. It's Saturday morning. I'm busy. I don't think I got time to get on the webinar. Or there's an event coming in. It's a couple hours away. I don't think I've got time to do that. or they don't really open their shop. They're not taking a business mindset. They're not treating it like a real business. Or another perfect example, you're at the supermarket and the lady in front of the line starts to complain about back pain, and you go, well, my store is not open right now. I don't think I'll talk to her about her problem, right? So if you would treat your business with the same kind of respect and commitment that anybody operating a traditional business to this business model, you would see a huge difference. And so I've got some questions to ask you. Get ready for some polls here. I've got some questions, and I want you to write the answers to these down on a piece of paper. I don't want you just to plug it into the computer here, because we're going to reveal to you a few things about what's going on in your business. And so this is the first question here I want to ask you. How long was your store open last week? And I'm identifying that as the last 7 days. So how much time did you put into your Zango business? I'm talking about talking to people on the phone. I'm talking about listening on conference calls. We'll count those. Okay, I'm talking about follow-up. Okay, I'm not talking about busy work, just organizing your office and shuffling papers around. I'm talking about what did you do last week? How many hours did you actually put into your business in the last 7 days? Talking to people, following up, going to events, conference calls, all the things that business people do. Come on, we've only got 25% of the people vote. I want to get some more votes on here. And let's just get an idea how much time are people, and believe me, you guys are all leaders that are on here, so I'm expecting some really good numbers from you. And I've got a few more questions here in the time that's left here that I think are going to be very, very interesting. So here we've got so far 8%, 0 to 1 hour. 34% of you are putting in 2 to 5 hours. 27%, 6 to 10 hours. 18%, 11 to 20 hours. And 11%, 21 hours plus. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So that gives you an idea how much time you're putting into your business. Question number 2. Okay? Share results. Oh, I could even share the results. Let's see if this works. No? Okay.
Not going to work.
Okay, well, this is a whole new thing here we're trying. Okay, so now the next question is, and this is a good one. I want you to answer this question. How many new people did you talk to about Zango last week? And I want you to write down the answers to this one here. How many new people? So this is like initial conversations with a new person about the product or the business in the last 7 days. So how many new people did you talk to about Zango last week?
These are great questions, and write the questions down, because I'd love for you guys to go and do this with your team or your pod calls or your own conference calls and ask and get a pulse on what's happening with your group. Very great question.
Okay, and so what we're getting here is 11% talk to 0. So you guys maybe are just getting started, right? I hope you're just getting started. 34%, 35%, 1 to 2 people. 33%, 3 to 5 people. 15%, 6 to 10. 6%, 11 plus. You know, guys, 35%, 1 to 2 people a week is not enough. It's not enough to grow a business, okay? And I challenge you to tell me how it is that you're putting in 5 to 10 hours per week when you're only talking to 1 or 2 people per week. See, that's the problem you're having with your business. And even 3 to 5 is very, very marginal. It's very, very marginal. You know, I mean, you've got to double that up, guys. You've got to double up your new person exposures. That's hobby work at that percentage level. You know, I've said if you can just talk to 1 or 2 new people per day, 5 days a week, which means 5 to 10 per week. And if you could do that consistently, 50 weeks out of the year for 2 to 5 years, you know, you could build a huge business. The problem is that we have people that talk to somebody today, and they don't have anybody they talk to until next Wednesday, and then the following Monday. That's not enough. There has to be a more consistent effort here. So 70%, the numbers are pretty much the same. So let's close that poll. I got another question for you.
Okay, as Art pulls up the other question, I just want to say, with my follow-up, I call it the 2-minute drill. And it's really important. People I know say I don't have time, but I'll tell you what, a 2-minute drill, do you know how many phone calls I can do in 30 minutes? I can do a lot of phone calls in 30 minutes, you guys. I bet you I phone good 20 people in 30 minutes, probably even more than that. Because remember, 90% of these people aren't even at home, or they're not going to even answer the phone. You're just leaving a message. So I know people say I'm just too busy to do this, but it's really important to take your game up another notch with Zango to make this work, because you're calling it your business, to do some of these things to help it grow.
Yes, absolutely. Now, here's the next one here. I really like this one. How many three-ways did you do last week? Or what we're calling meet me calls, right? And this is both upline and downline. You can count the ones that you made with your upline, introducing your prospects to your upline, and you can count the ones that you did with your downline. And so any three-way calls, how many three-way calls did you do in the last 7 days? And be honest with yourself on this. This is going to be very, very revealing. And we're getting a 40%, 41% of the people have voted. And I'm telling you what, guys, I mean, here's the problem right here. This is the number one problem. I've known this is the problem. I don't know how we're going to get the solution to this problem out there. But we've got 64% of the people did not do a single three-way call last week. You see, and you're saying that you want to build a business, and you've taken time out of your busy Saturday morning. But one of the fundamental strategies that you must have in place in order to enter the home business arena, I'm talking about raising your game to where you can bring in business builders into your business. The three-way calling is the number one thing that there is, because it brings in the out-of-town expert. It creates teamwork. We got 25% of the people 1 to 2. So we've got 87% of the people did less than 2 three-way calls in the last 7 days. And so what if we could all raise our game here over the next 7 days? I'm telling you what, I mean, your game would change. We were doing more three-way calls than ever before. And congratulations to the 1% of you who did 11 plus, and the 4%, 6 to 10. On you guys are working it. You guys are really working it. And so what is your goal for next week? If you're in the 0 category, what if you just determined that you were going to move up to the next category? Okay? So you have a goal to do 1 or 2 next week. Is that too much of a stretch? Or if you're in the 1 or 2 category, my goal is to do 3 to 5. You should have a goal list of three-way calls and how many you're going to do that week, and have it part of your mind. See, the thing is that if you don't do the three-way calls to your new candidates, they won't either. I don't know how to. People are following your leadership. And so three-way calling, or what we're calling the Meet Me call, is really important. Thank you for participating in this and being honest. I think we've got another one here.
Yeah, while Art's bringing that up, I just want to say, for instance, you have to work it into your lifestyle or into your day. For instance, Krista has 3 little girls, and so she knows that there are certain times throughout her day that she is really unable to do three-way calls. There are certain hours that are best for her. Yes, she's a stay-at-home mom. Yes, she's a full-time income with Zango, but there's my phone. But she does know that she has to do Zango and work it, and so she does her three-way calls wherever she can. I've got to take this other line again.
Okay. It's got to get off the phone there. Okay, I got the next poll here, and this is a good one here. I think you're going to like this one too. And this is a bit of a test as well. Okay, how many did you personally invite to today's webinar? This is another part of the system, guys. Okay, this is another part of the system, is getting people onto a webinar or a conference call. And I purposely asked for this particular webinar to make an example, but I will give you votes for inviting and three-waying people into any conference call this week. But for this particular one here, how many people did you personally invite to today's webinar? And 48% are voted. And guess what? 62% of you said 0. 14%, 13% said 1. You know what? See, I'm telling you, you're not working the program. You're not really working the system. And if you will start working the system, you will see your business improve. And I don't mind. I'm okay. I'm being a bit of a tough love guy today. Okay, I know I'm being sort of challenging, but I also know that a lot of you people are desperately looking to make money, and you're looking for a home business, and you have caring hearts, and you are leaders, but you're not doing the fundamental basics that you need to do to be successful. And I wanted to ask you these questions because I wanted you to see what it is that you're really doing, not what you say you're doing. And so I want you to raise your game up. And so 63% of you said, nobody. How about if you made it part of your game plan to at least invite one person next week to some sort of a conference call or webinar of whatever's available. Andy Willoughby's got another webinar Monday night, right? So if you could just look to move up to the next category. And the people that did one, why don't you double it next week? And watch how your business changes as you begin to demonstrate the system to your new candidates. Demonstrate the system. They won't do it if you don't first. Remember my old expression there, you've got to be the leader that you want others to follow. So lots of fun. Thanks a lot, guys. I think that was good. I mean, it was a little scary there, trying something new. Let's quickly run through the Zango's new ABC promotion. I hope you learned something. It's called Know Thyself. What have I been doing and why not? And if you will change some of your behaviors, talk to more people, use more three-way calls, get people on conference calls, get people out to events. I could have asked that too. Then you'll see your business start to shift. And so we got the new ABC promotion, which is a great promotion to encourage us to do what we should be doing. Sponsor somebody new, help them find 3 people within 30 days, and you make $250. The good news is this person here now that you have brought in now has 3 people of his own, right? And when he helps those 3 get 3, he makes $250 when this guy gets 3, $250 when this guy gets 3, $250. And so if you sponsor somebody that gets 3 who finds 3 within 30 days of these people coming in, that's a $750 check. So great new promotion, and that's really what we're talking about. Do the promotion twice, and do it 3 times and you get entered into for a cruise. So you want to find your 3, help them find their 3, and so on. I'm telling you what, these people need your help out there. They need your help. They need your help with the product. People are hurting out there. You know, people are looking for alternative health products. They want skin care that is non-toxic. They need your help. They need your help with their finances right now. Don't you, if you'll just start to think about what's in it for them. I've given you a lot of stuff today. I've been trying to lay the pathways in your mind to see exactly what it is that you've got to bring to the table. But there's people out there that need your help. Do the people that you know what you do? I'm telling you, they're looking for home businesses out there. And it's going to be a sad day when you finally get up the courage to call your Uncle Fred, and he says, no, I just got involved in a home business just last week. Gosh, I wish you'd let me know. I might have been interested. So what your goal here is to think about the people that need your help. Think about the people that need your help. It's not about you, it's about them. What's in it for them? What could this do to help the people that you know? They're worried about money. They're hurting. And as they worry more about money, guess what? Their body's going to become less healthy. I'm telling you, financial stress creates a lot of pain in the body. You've got a solution for both. You've got to bring the whole package out to them and show them the whole thing. Doesn't mean that you don't lead with the product with some people, because when you think about them, you think about the product. But it does mean that very, very quickly in this process, you've got to introduce the idea of a business to them. That there are no such things as customers for life that just order over and over again forever. Those are very, very rare. I'm being honest with you here. If you want to keep somebody on this juice and you really care about them being able to continue to buy this juice, then you've got to show them about the tax savings, about how to start a home business, how to share it with a few people. And in order to do that, you've got to use your upline, 3-way calls. You've got to use the whole system here. And so, great call. Running a little bit late. Next week, we've got Yvonne and Evermarie Sarda, 100Ks, doing the March 14th team call. As you know, we're doing one webinar per month, and we have our various team members hosting a call, same phone number, but not a webinar. So if you want to listen to the Sardas next week, 100K premieres, instead of on fixed incomes in retirement, living in Arizona with their feet up, within about a 5-year period of time here, 6 now, they got married. Yvonne retired from 40 years in the aerospace industry and now have a wonderful home business. And, of course, Terry and I are going to be in Silverdale Beach Hotel in Washington, March 21st for a biz-op. Yes, 1 hour, and that is very, very powerful. That's what we did in Portland, so that's a great thing that's coming up. Andy Willoughby, I'll be sending out the notice on that for his webinar. I'm telling you what, the radio co-op is the game right now. Other than the warm market, and that'll always be top, the only other thing I can really recommend for the cold market is the radio. Quality of leads are better, but you've got to have a business mindset. You've got to invest, You've got to treat it like a subway. Don't try to pull money out of your rent money to get into the radio co-op. And so that's coming up on Monday night. And, of course, Las Vegas. There are some tickets in the main room that may be available if you don't have them. So contact your upline about that. And, Terry, anything you wanted to add before we close out the call?
No, I just would like to add, we're here to help people, to service people, and to help people not only have better health, but also have better wealth. And people need us right now. And so reach out to them. You never know what position they're in unless you ask. People are going through difficult times, and we're here to help them.
And I'm going to close out with one of my favorite slides and one of my favorite statements. Everything in life starts with a decision. Everything in life starts with a decision. And as we've learned from John Gottschalk, those decisions should be in writing. Why don't you sit down and make a few decisions after today's call? How many people are you going to talk to in the next 7 days? How many three-way calls are you going to do in the next 7 days? What's your goal for getting people on the webinar in the next 7 days? Let's make a new list of people that need your help. Who are those people that need your help? What are you going to do Monday morning? It's not about today. What are you going to do after you get off of this call? That decision that you've made to create this wonderful business called Zango has to be made every single day. So I invite you to take the next step. Raise your game up another notch here and get ready for what I think is going to be the biggest explosion in home business history. I don't think we're there yet. I think the ground is still being prepared in people's minds. There's still a lot of people that are kind of paralyzed, in fear, worried about the economy, but they're going to come to the conclusion one fine morning. They're going to wake up and they're going to look around and they're going to say, you know what? This is not getting any better anytime soon. And if I want to change my financial situation, I'm going to have to do it myself. What are my options? And they better start looking. Hopefully, they'll remember their friend Fred that brought them a home business a month ago, and they'll say, maybe I should give Fred a call. But if they don't know what you're doing, they won't call you. They'll go online. They'll do some searching. They'll do some advertising. The people that you know will be calling the Andy Willoughby Radio Co-op because they never heard about it from you. So I invite you to take the next step. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate you all coming on the line today. Let's open up the lines so that we can say sayonara. You're all great leaders as far as I'm concerned, but let's get the game on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.